Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're heading straight down the hardware aisle to look at a tiny yet absolutely critical piece of engineering, the chain link connector. In researching this, I realized just how much actually relies on this literal missing link that holds everything together.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's how we're going to break it all down into digestible chunks. First, the critical missing link. Then, the types of chain connectors, and choosing the right material. After that, we'll decode those crucial safety ratings, walk through installation, inspection, and maintenance, and finally, find your perfect connector.
All right, Section 1, the critical missing link, completing the loop safely.
So in any chain assembly, the connector is actually very often the weakest point. That makes picking the right one an absolute necessity for your safety and load integrity. By definition, a chain link connector is a specialized hardware component used to join separate segments of a chain, connect a chain to other equipment, or just make assembly and disassembly way easier for maintenance. Basically, think of these as the ultimate modularity tool. Whether you're extending a heavy-duty lifting sling or just replacing a worn-out section without throwing away the whole chain, they give you incredible versatility.
Moving on to Section 2, Types of Chain Connectors. Let's start visualizing the hardware.
It's honestly fascinating just how many variations exist out there for different jobs. You've got quick links with their screw locks. Those are your versatile light to medium duty go-to. C-links are hammered closed for permanent joins. Spring clips are what you'll see on bicycles, and a real key takeaway here is that the open end literally must face away from the chain travel so it doesn't get pushed off. Then we have cotter pin links. These are absolutely essential for high-speed applications, we're talking over 15 meters per second, or in super high vibration environments. Moving down the list, hammerlock couplings are strictly forged for certified overhead lifting slings. Double clevis links are the absolute standard for transportation and towing. Master links act as that central attachment point for multi-leg slings. And finally, offset or half links brilliantly let you adjust the chain length by an odd number of pitches.
Which brings us to Section 3, Choosing the Right Material. This is the science of durability.
Now, this is where it gets into some high-stakes science, because picking the wrong metal for your environment can actually lead to silent, catastrophic failure. For instance, in a dry indoor workshop, an economical zinc-plated or galvanized link is totally fine. But if you're outdoors in a marine environment, you need superior rust protection. For overhead lifting slings, you absolutely must step up to grade 80, 100, or 120 alloy. That's a quenched and tempered steel built with a massive 4-to-1 design factor. And for things like food processing or really harsh saltwater environments, 304 or 316 stainless steel is mandatory, specifically because 316 simply will not degrade in those harsh marine settings. It's a real game changer.
Okay, Section 4, crucial safety ratings explained, WLL versus MBL. Listen, if you take away absolutely anything from this explainer today, let it be this exact ratio, 4-to-1. I was honestly amazed to learn that this is the massive safety factor required in overhead lifting. What that means is a connector marked for, say, 2,000 kilograms is actually engineered to withstand 8,000 kilograms before it breaks. It's built to hold 4 times its working limit. But why such a massive gap?
Well, it comes down to 2 critical acronyms that you can never, ever mix up. On the left, we have the working load limit, or WLL. That is the maximum load designed for normal, everyday use. You must never exceed this number. On the right is the minimum breaking load, or MBL. That's the theoretical failure load. This is for engineering reference only. So the crucial point here is never, ever use the MBL as a working limit, period.
And that brings us right to this imperative safety rule. Quote, never mix chain series, even if the pitch matches. Pin diameter and plate width can differ, creating a dangerous weak point. End quote. You know the old saying, right? A chain is literally only as strong as its weakest link. Well, a poorly matched link is exactly that weak point.
Let's move to Section 5, Installation, Inspection, and Maintenance. Doing the job right.
Because knowing what to buy is only half the battle. Proper installation is what actually keeps people safe. Take securing a ceiling, for example. Step 1, you insert it through your chain ends and place it flat on a solid metal anvil. Step 2, peen it aggressively with a heavy hammer. You really want to mushroom those ends out. That permanent closure is what secures it. And Step 3, please pay attention to this. Never weld the joint. Applying field heat instantly destroys the metal's temper and completely compromises the steel's strength. Just don't do it.
Now, once it's installed, routine checks are your first line of defense. You need to inspect these at least every 6 months. Make sure all those grade and WLL markings are still legible. Check really closely for any nicks, gouges, cracks, or pitting. Verify there's no deformation or twisted shapes happening, and if the threads are stripped or the locking mechanism fails, don't hesitate. Replace it immediately to maintain that safety loop.
All right, final section, section 6, find your perfect connector, putting this knowledge into action.
Now, what's really interesting here is seeing how all this technical theory applies perfectly to the real world. For a bicycle or roller chain, you're looking at a spring clip or a quick link, but the key rule is you must match the exact speeds, like an 8 to 12 speed. For permanent anchoring, you'd use a peen C-link, but it physically must be able to pass through your windlass gypsy. And for towing safety chains, a double clevis in grade 70 steel is the standard, provided it's officially rated for towing. It's all highly application-specific.
So it all boils down to this core ethos here. Always prioritize safety. Match the connector to the chain grade, never exceed the working load limit, and inspect regularly. If you do that, you're going to ensure years of dependable, trouble-free service. It is incredibly empowering to finally master the missing link of the hardware world. Knowing exactly how to keep your projects and equipment safe really changes how you look at everyday engineering. For more and to purchase, visit our website, Ferris Solution. But before you go, it kind of leaves you wondering, what other tiny, easily overlooked pieces of hardware are silently holding the rest of our world together?